The Shepherd and the Storm. In a remote village nestled among snow-capped mountains, there lived a humble shepherd named James. James was known for his deep love for his flock of sheep and his dedication to his simple, yet fulfilling life. The village, though small, was a close-knit community where everyone knew each other, and the arrival of winter brought both beauty and challenges to their lives. One brisk winter morning, James decided to take his sheep to their usual grazing grounds in the nearby hills. The villagers had been discussing an impending snowstorm, but James, confident in his skills and knowledge of the area, felt he could manage and return before the storm grew severe. The early snowfall was light, and the weather seemed manageable, so he set off with his flock. As the day wore on, the sky darkened, and the snow began to fall more heavily. The gentle flakes soon turned into a relentless blizzard, reducing visibility to mere feet. James, accustomed to navigating the rugged terrain, soon found himself struggling to keep track of his path. The snow covered familiar landmarks, and the landscape became a monotonous expanse of white. Despite his best efforts, James's attempts to find his way back to the village were thwarted by the growing intensity of the storm. The cold seeped through his layers of clothing, and the biting wind made it almost impossible to see. He huddled close to his sheep, using his body as a shield against the cold. He knew he needed to get them to safety, but with each passing hour, the situation grew more desperate. James's hope began to wane as nightfall approached. Exhausted and disoriented, he wondered if he would ever make it back. His thoughts were consumed by concern for his sheep, who were also struggling against the harsh weather. The storm showed no signs of letting up, and James was beginning to lose hope. Meanwhile, back in the village, the storm had also caused concern. The villagers were familiar with James's routine and quickly realized something was amiss when he did not return by nightfall. A group of villagers, led by Thomas, the village's most experienced tracker, decided to venture out into the storm to search for him. They were equipped with lanterns and warm clothing, and they knew that finding James in such conditions would be challenging. Using their skills and knowledge of the terrain, the search party followed the faint tracks left by James's sheep. The blizzard made their progress slow and arduous, but they remained determined. Thomas led them with a calm but urgent pace, guiding them through the storm and keeping the group focused on their mission. After several hours of searching, they finally heard a faint sound, a distant, muffled call that was barely audible over the roar of the wind. Guided by the sound and the tracks, the search party finally spotted James huddled with his flock near a rocky outcrop. The sight of the rescuers brought a wave of relief to James, who was on the brink of collapse from exhaustion and cold. The villagers quickly wrapped James and his sheep in warm blankets and provided them with hot drinks and food. They carefully led the group back to the village, taking the utmost care to ensure that James and his flock were safe and comfortable. The journey back was slow, but the warmth of the rescuers' presence and their support provided much-needed encouragement. When they arrived back in the village, the community greeted them with open arms. The villagers were overjoyed to see James safe and sound, and they celebrated his return with a warm feast. James expressed his deep gratitude to the rescuers and to the entire village for their support. He realized that while his knowledge and experience were valuable, the strength of the community and their willingness to help each other in times of need were even more crucial. The experience left a lasting impact on James. He learned the importance of heeding warnings and the power of collective effort. From that day forward, He shared his story with others, emphasizing the significance of community and the importance of being prepared for unexpected challenges. The village, in turn, grew even closer, united by the shared experience and the lessons learned from the harsh winter storm.